Possible. I'm really excited today. We're going to model a protocol. It's a class meetings protocol. It comes from Positive Discipline, and this is a protocol that we are going to use eventually in our connections class with our students. And it might seem elementary at first, but it's definitely effective, and I'll talk about why it's effective for high school students as well. So as you can see, the setup that we have today is kind of an inside circle, and this is going to be a sample class, right? This is, you can imagine this has your connections class, what your connections class might look like. We're going to model a connections class meeting for you. We have a real problem today that we're going to work to solve. Everybody in this circle. It's going to be really, really good. I'm just going to read this part here because it's kind of comments for teachers in this protocol. Teachers often handle classroom issues themselves. Missing opportunities involve students in learning how to think, problem solve, contribute, and help each other. So today's objective is giving you one tool to push the problem solving to the students. Okay, so everybody on the outside, you're observing quietly while we go through the classroom protocol. You have a checklist, and you're grading me, making sure that I'm doing everything on the checklist. I may or may not hit everything. A little nervous. It's okay to be nervous the first time. So make sure that you don't have to stop me if I miss something, but keep back, come at the end and tell me, hey David, you missed that part, by the way, or I would have done it this way. Feel free. So there's a couple things. There's 4 different things in a class meeting. Every class meeting has. One is compliments, where everybody gets a chance to compliment someone else. We'll talk why that's important at the end. 2 is follow up on previous solutions that have been offered. This is assuming that this is a second or third or fourth class meeting that you've done. Today, we're not going to get through this step because this is our first meeting, but normally we would follow up and check on how solutions have been coming for students in classes that have committed to trying something. 3 is the agenda item. Now in your class, your students have an opportunity, should have an opportunity, maybe it's through a Google form, maybe it's through putting something on the whiteboard, to add something to an agenda, a problem. Today's agenda, I just asked one teacher to keep it simple, Munir, and he has a problem, and the student can choose 3 different things, or the teacher can choose 3 different things that they want to address the problem. The first thing is share feelings while other people listen. Sometimes that's all we need. We need to share how we're feeling, and we want to be heard. And at the end of that, you don't have to go through solutions. You say thank you for sharing. Number 2, discuss without fixing. Discuss without fixing. I think this is the number one thing that when my wife Leslie gives me a problem, this is what she wants me to do. She hates it when I have a solution for her immediately. She says, I just want to talk about my problems. I don't need a solution. I already know the solution. And so discussing without fixing. Sometimes you just need to share your problems with people. Give me a little, if that's you. Sometimes you just need to share, okay? The 4th one is ask for problem-solving help. And I think our 3rd one is ask for problem-solving help. And I think that's what Munir wants to do today, ask for problem-solving help. Okay. And then finally, the 4th step is a closing activity. It can be something fun. It can be something that you need to get done, some nuts and bolts with the class. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a talking ball. If you have this ball, class, you get to talk. If you don't have this ball, you're listening to the person that's holding the talking ball. Okay? We're going to start with compliments. Now, inside this circle, when you give a compliment, I want you to start by saying their name, the person you're complimenting, someone inside the circle, and I want you to work on making it an inside compliment. By inside, I mean not something about them on the outside, like they like your shoes or clothes, but maybe something about the way they do something or their attitude or personality, okay? So you would say their name, I like, or an appreciation, I appreciate. And then if you get complimented, you say thank you, and you say the name of the person who's complimenting you, okay? I'm going to start. I'm going to say, Lena, I like your really positive attitude.
Thank you, David.
Perfect.
David, I'm really liking and I appreciate your energy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Leslie, I appreciate all.
Thank you guys. We're through part 1 of our agenda. Now we're going to move to part 2. This is our first meeting of the year. Normally, students, we would be following up with solutions that we provided from last week's meeting, but we don't have any. We didn't have a meeting last week, so we're going to jump to number 3 on the agenda. Again, I noticed the only one to add a problem to the agenda was Monir. Monir, do you want to share feelings with others while they listen to solve your problem, discuss without fixing, or would you like to ask for problem-solving help?
Yeah, the problem solved.
Problem-solving help. All right, I'm going to give Monir the talking ball. I'm going to ask for a volunteer in the class to be a scribe, someone that... Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. Wow. It's only it worked that easy with students. All right. So I'm going to give the talking ball to Monir. He's going to talk for about a minute. I'll loosely time you. If you go too long, I'll cut you off. You're going to explain your problem. While he's explaining the problem, we're listening to the person who has the talking ball. You're going to get a chance to offer a solution or a tip or advice about his problem. We're going to pass it around. Now, if you get the ball and you don't have something, or someone already said it, you can say, I agree with that one, or you can just say, pass, okay? So Monir's going to talk for a minute, and we are going to listen, and then we'll write down solutions. Now, while we were writing down solutions, Monir, you won't have the talking ball, so you're just listening. Even if it's something you tried, you just let it go up there. At the end of it, you're going to choose one of the solutions that you want to try, and then we're going to follow up on how that went next week. Okay? All right. So you have a minute to talk about your problem.
Okay. So one thing that I've noticed is because of like a year of online learning, the students' skills are really vary based on how much effort their parents help them put at home. So I guess my problem would be, how do you differentiate or learning for students who are in such a wide array of skills? Some people know what they're talking about, other people have no idea what happened last year. So how do you move forward with that?
All right, so our scribe is writing down the problem. While she's writing that down, we're going to have some think time for about 45 seconds. Okay. I'm going to pass the talking ball. Remember, you can come up with a tip or a solution. Or if you feel more comfortable with say pass, you can do that. And then you can pass it.
A solution that I would have is one, maybe having a benchmark assessment where you could judge where they are missing things first to determine where the problem truly lies. Some sort of assessment.
Cool.
Mania, I am thinking about student choice. Perhaps there's some standard and you have some standard-based achieving, give them an option of choosing a problem that falls within different bounds. So giving them choices and what they want to approach. If they're successful, encouraging them to move forward and kind of seeing if they're not, then so some implementation of choice.
Monier, of these solutions, you have to choose one. This next week in your class, which one do you want to try?
I'll probably start off with assessing them properly.
One, a benchmark assessment, and you'll report back to us next week. Let us know how that's. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We're looking forward to the report back next week. That is the end of the agenda items for today. Our final thing is a closing activity, and like I promised,